Well, I'm with Phil Stanley, who's a director at Paterson Photographic, and just going to ask you a few things, Phil. About tell me about your company. What kind of products do you actually produce, and kind of how long have you been going?
Paterson's Photographic's been going for over 100 years. We manufacture the complete darkroom equipment you need, all the way through the tanks, development tanks, wash tanks, tongs. We also export all over the world with our products. So we're the last man standing in darkroom. Darkroom, as you know, has had a big resurgence in the sense of Kodak have come back into film. Ilford are still doing it. They're our main distributor throughout the States and the Far East, and they promote and distribute all our products there. So we're finding that the demographic for people now getting back into darkroom equipment is between 18 to 35, and I think everybody's got to a point where they're fed up of pressing print, and you can print off any printer and have the same print, whereas with the darkroom equipment, you're there as a one-off, an individual product, and depending on how long you develop it and process it, depends on how that picture then evolves from there. So
Absolutely. I was just going to say there's a kind of a moment I can remember always, that first print that I did in the darkroom, and that kind of magic. It would be a shame to lose it for people, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely, and as I said, the students are getting into it now, the sciences and the schools are getting into it, and we're finding that as a growing market. So from last year when we came to the show to this year, our darkroom equipment has grown by about 12.5%. So the interest now is really coming back in. And the reason why we're at the show today is to let people know that a good, strong, old-fashioned brand is out there. It's still surviving. Everything's made in the UK, and it's a British-made product and can be bought off the internet or distributed direct through the dealers.
Well, that's really, really good to hear that that film's alive and well, and with the Paterson guys. But it's not all about darkroom, is it? It's about all sorts of other products that you do.
We also own the Bembo brand, which is one of the original tripods you could get. And the Bembo is a very unique tripod in its nature. So we do the Bembo 1, 2, the Trekker, the compact Trekker, the mini Trekker, and the mono. And again, all those products are made in the UK. And what they allow you to do is they allow you to get your camera right the way down to the ground, so you can take pictures of grass or flowers. They allow you, all the legs can go in different directions. And I think one of our historic problems is they last so well. Because at the show here, I've got so many people coming to me and saying, Phil, I've had mine for 35, 40 years, and so it's interesting to get the stories and the way they've evolved. But again, the Bembo brand is growing. It's having a massive resurgence with natural photographers, and people are getting out there and using the brand very well now, which is fantastic.
It sounds good, and you've bought some kind of things here. What on earth is this?
Well, this is an interesting story because, as people may know, Paterson used to own Interfit, and about 10, 12 years ago we sold Interfit off because we are historic manufacturers in terms of pressed parts, moulded parts, and we're only based 20 miles down the road here. We designed our own range of studio lighting, constant daylight, and clearly these are bulbs that which come from China, and as you can see, for a photographer as a daylight, it's a very volatile fluorescent light. So this time last year I set myself a challenge to then bring something new to the show, and what we've done then since is created an LED light. So the LED light here now is moulded and assembled in our factory. It's got an E27 fitting on, and this LED light is giving more looms out than this 135 watt bulb here. So it's an exciting project for us. It's another step in another direction for us. And not only do we do the traditional darkroom, we're also doing the tripods as well, but we're also now into studio lighting. So it's changing the perception of people that Paterson's is just a darkroom product. It's not. We're now able to cater for the whole of the photography market and give those people all those needs that they need. And then next year we're hoping to come with another range of products and just constantly push it. But this was assembled about 9 o'clock on Friday night, so it's a big challenge to get the mould tool done and the lens done, and to build up all the products. There's 30 LEDs in there, and it's going off to Plessy after the show for them to then verify all the LED ratings, and then obviously in about 3-4 weeks time we'll be up in manufacturing, ready to launch the product as a British manufactured product. So all the products on here are made in the UK in our factory down the road.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So effectively, people can't buy this yet, but can they order it in advance, or have they just got to wait until you're ready at that point?
I think we've got about 2-3 weeks to go, to verify everything, get it all cemented in and done. We've done 8 prototypes now, They're all up and running. They've been fantastic, worked really well. We've done tests with them. So I think in about 3-4 weeks' time, we'll be up and ready, in production, ready to go. And then they'll be able to order them off the website or go to our dealers and purchase them there. But the beauty with it as well is not only can we send that to America as it is now, because we've also designed it where it can do 240 volts and it will also take the 110 volts. So therefore you haven't got to have one for America. So if you're traveling, you're going somewhere, you can use that light. But when you look at the volatile nature of that bulb there to that bulb there, and respects, that's the only LED light on the market that can be retrofitted into everybody else's studio light.
That sounds good to me. So what we've learned from you then, Phil, is the fact that film darkroom is alive and kicking, yep. But you're still looking for new products and still developing stuff. So make sure you pop along and see the guys on the Paterson stand.